Hello friends and welcome back for episode 19 of our Rogue Legacy Let's Play. I'm real excited here to bring you a spell sword, yes that's what they're called, and we will be heading our way straight down into the depths of darkness and sewers and bukkake backstabs and all kinds of crazy business like that. I'm excited to see if we can maybe replicate a little bit of that success that we tasted a couple episodes ago. That's been basically my driving force for wanting to keep playing, is just, you know, can we beat that? I don't know, hopefully. I'd be pretty depressed if we could never beat that, but I'm pretty sure we can. The scaling of this game is such that we probably will have to at some point. Okay, no fighting, no fighting. No swiping, swiper. There is definitely a pattern here at work, and I don't even have to not get hit, but that is also ideal. We've already got a retaliation rune for Helm, which I'm very happy to admit is something that I needed. So, a small little mission accomplished already, all the way at the very beginning of this episode. I really like when we start off on a high note, so let's keep to that trend. What do you say? I would love to discover a little bit more treasure, and it looks like there may be something over on the other end of this little area here, which I, wow, amazingly was able to cross that entire crevasse in one fell swoop. Whoa, okay, well, I'll just jet myself straight into the spikes on that one. Hopefully you don't mind. I certainly don't. I've only got 285 health, but I do have plenty of MP. At least that's what I'm told anyway. It's not a bad class, I guess, and I've heard that there are a lot of people who just really refuse to use magic-based classes in this game, apparently on YouTube, and I might be one of those people, and if that's the case, my apologies. I don't really mean to pick certain classes, just my playing preference, and I guess a lot of us have a similar attitude at how to accomplish things in this. So journals are not a thing anymore, so I wish it would stop telling me they are. And I have a feeling this might be, no, oh, I was going to say maybe the way down to get to the dark world, the dark area, the dark land, the land of darkness. That's what it is. I'm going to work my way toward it. Sometimes I just have to put things together piece by piece like a puzzle because of my tiny little reptile brain. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead. Oh, there we go. Being careful not to squander the little bit of HP we seem to have. And I'm totally aware that having a little amount of HP means that you are usually offset with a large amount of MP. So, yeah, the conventions are not lost on me. I just am lost in general. Okay, we've got swords, we've got spells, we've got cages hanging like jails, we've got spikes and stars and rainbows and hearts. Oh my. I don't know, I think I'm making a new version of the Lucky Charms cereal. Anyway, I kept true to my promise. The goal here was... Oh, don't waste all that gold on the stupid spikes. Are you kidding me? That's super lame. Alright, so we've got lots of gold in this room. But yeah, I did stay true to my goal, which was to make my way down to this area. And whether or not it goes well, we'll see. Oh, fine. Okay, fine. I'll just take the damage. I want the gold that badly, apparently. One time I was able to pick up gold off the top of spikes without taking damage, but it requires a very careful sense of timing. Apparently I'm not capable of doing it, though. Yeah, alright, well, I got hit already, used the invincibility frames. I wish the spikes did a bit less damage at this stage in the game. Yeah, alright, well, that'll be a thing. I guess that won't really help me all that much. Kind of need to pick a spell for the spell sword that is going to actually benefit my gameplay. In this case, that did that. Okay, cool. So I just need to use my spells at the right times and not act like a big dingus. There we go. To our left, we've got another angry man and blood balls. To our to our southerly direction, we've got wave wisp angry nightmen with halberds of some... Oh, I didn't realize they dashed that far. Alright, well that was a pretty quick run. Surly the Third, you are not quite as surly as I would have hoped. Let's try a class that I have a little bit better of a chance with, like a Hokage maybe. I think a fast hero. Ectomorphic is not the best for me, but it'll probably get the job done. So I've got 2,621 gold to spend. I'm going to put that on HP. Done. Quick little story for you. HP is something I need. There you go. Alright, so retaliation rune for Helm. Something I would like to get at some point. I'm still running with that one vampirism. And what do I have other than that? I've got the 2 flight, I got 1 dash, and I've got the double jump. So what if I decided to, in a total crazy moment here, to just, like, ditch the double jump in favor of... Well, I don't have the gold find one. That would have probably been what I would have picked. Anyway, back into the castle. Forget that whole line of thought. I wonder what the total number of dudes we've thrown at this castle is by this point. It's got to be up in, like, the 100-something, right? Feels like it should be by this point. Oh, also, oh, come on with the spikes. Every time I start this game up, I always want to mention that I love the music of it every time, and then I always forget. This is not going to help me in any way. Forget this room. But yeah, every time I start it up, and it's been probably like 30 or so launches of the game, but I always just enjoy the theme music when it starts out. And I just want to comment that I really enjoy the music in this game. There are certain areas that I like more than others. For example, at this point, the castle's music has become a little bit just of, like, background noise. And not calling it noise, but, like, it is not so present. But some of the boss themes and stuff have been very cool. And so I believe we just got a vault rune for bracers, if my filter was presently tuned in, which it may or not have been. It's funny, sometimes when you get into the groove of saying stuff for a long time, just commentating on stuff, you sort of stop looking, in a way. Like, you see stuff, but you don't observe stuff. Your filter just sort of processes, and the output goes right through, because really your head is where the primary thinking process is going on. And it's a very surreal experience to be able to actually actively read something, know you read it, and basically have gotten no information out of it. It's sort of what happens if you've ever had to, like, read, like, to study for, like, an exam or something, for example, late at night, and you're already exhausted, and you just don't, like, have any energy or any willpower to want to put time or effort into doing what you're doing. And please don't think that I'm trying to say that I'm not putting time or effort into what I'm doing, but it's the same thing of when you're, like, so distracted by being tired or exhausted that you just can't really, like, parse information anymore. It just sort of goes in one ear and out the other, so to speak. It's like that, only just having parallel thought processes going on. Alright, so let's just trash this freaking castle. Let's get every bit of gold out of it. We're gonna plunder to our heart's content, because that is what we do here in Rogue Legacy. We're gonna hopefully get so much gold this run that there's nothing we can do other than just max out all the attributes on that castle screen at the beginning. It's gonna be glorious. You'll be there. Trust me, it'll be great. Alright, so another journal room. No need for these. Aside from whatever gold the chairs and candelabra chandelier type deals want to drop. I'm wondering if having 117 on my damage output is enough that I should just head straight to the darkness and hope that there's a chance I might be able to one-shot or, like, two-shot some of the enemies there. If that's the case, I think that will make a pretty big difference, although I'm sure having some better armor and such will also as well. I feel like at the point having level 102, I should be equipped enough to be able to handle it, but it also depends how you spend your points. And yes, that is a thing that I probably should make note of. People have called me out for saying, like, does Nick think that just leveling up somehow increases your base stats? No, I don't actually think that. But I may have said things that sound... Whoa, oh, okay, there's a little cubby hole down there. I may have said things that sound like that's what my my current thought pattern on that process was. But no, I don't actually believe that. Little jumping puzzle there, nothing we can't handle, although maybe only in one direction. Yeah, okay. And down here we've got a couple of these angry piranha plant dudes. Actually, they are not so bad. They take one hit now. Hey, it's the carnival. What's up, bro? Haven't seen you in a while. Everybody's got so many tips for the carnival, and I don't feel like a lot of them would work. People have said that before a patch there was a time when I could have used my shout ability to kill some of these targets, or that I could, like, attack the targets from outside of this area, this chamber. Even if that is the case, I'd rather not probably cheese it. And people constantly say, just don't jump. I'm not sure what the thought process is on that. I think you need to jump. I think you really do have to. If I'm mistaken, then I'm sorry, but I don't know how you're going to hit those top areas without jumping. Yeah, this is not going to happen, is it? Even if I get 2, 4, 6, 8... in that line, no, I don't think it's going to happen. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9... Yeah, I don't think there's a single way I could beat this at all. 84, this is probably my worst run in a while, actually. I really want this freaking prize, dude. If you could, like, somehow let me grind this thing. I guess the way you grind it is to just keep coming back, right? Oh, what's going on down here? Anything? Oh, there's a chest over here. Wow, I almost walked right by that. Total fluke that I actually came back. Oh, okay, these guys are not too happy about me being in this room. We've got daggers. I'm gonna just have to take some shots in this one. Occasionally there are just, like, not really practical ways to avoid some damage, so, you know, you gotta embrace it at that point. These guys can't do anything to me. Still want to kill them, though. And thankfully they're all not that hard either. Excuse me, little spike ball. Alright, what's up here? Already been there. Oh. Yeah, it's going to be real interesting once I get the dragon class and can't jump at all. I'm not sure how much I'm going to like that. Oh, do I have PAD? Yeah, I do. Didn't realize spikes are not going to be an issue here. This is a thing that I should definitely take advantage of more when I have PAD, because there are definitely some fairy runes that, or fairy chests rather, that I should be able to get much more easily when I don't have to worry about spikes activating. I have to wonder, actually, if that trap one that I kept failing on, where I had to, like, run up really quickly through a bunch of spikes, maybe that one is just, like, absolutely simple. Oh, I knew this room was this. These guys are still going to be a pain in my butt, aren't they? Barbados? Jeez. Okay, this is going to kill me in another second or so. There's not really a chest or anything that I can use to save myself either. Yeah, alright, well, I knew that was going to be the end of that. That run went really bad. Badly, unfortunately. Just having terrible luck lately. Can I get a dragon, please? How do I re-roll? Oh, yeah, I can press back. Let's do that. Oh, I get one re-roll. Alright, there's our Lady Jenny the Fifth, the dragon. How do you evolve in such a way as to become a dragon? Well, I guess I should ask Northern Lion. Alright, so we're going to be a dragon for this one. Why not? What do I want to do? I've got 3,500 gold. Spend it on attack power, probably? Yeah, I think we will do that, actually. And that leaves me with enough for not a whole lot. Can't buy... Oh, I can buy this. Magic damage up or mana up. Magic... Mana up? Mana up. Alright, so I can't jump, which means that it would be pretty irresponsible of me to still have all these mobility runes on. Like, there's no reason for me to fly with a rune once I have that ability. But I don't really have a lot of options, so I guess I'll put on vampirism on anything that I can. Alright, so that's going to be that. I guess it would be just really silly not to. The forward sprint, I guess I could use still. This one I don't have anything unlocked other than that, so I guess just leave it equipped, whatever. And I don't have enough to buy the balance rune, or the vampirism, or the siphon rune, so... Alright, so I guess I'll be flying out of necessity, and I shoot fireballs, which is real silly. Do I have any kind of Y? No, I guess not. Alright, let's see how this goes. This might be an absolute travesty. If that's the case, my apologies, but it might be funny as well. I'm a dragon. I'm a dragon. I'm a dragon. I feel so dragony. I wish my fireball went a little bit further and didn't impact with all of the walls ever in the history of the universe, and it also doesn't do very much damage either. But I guess I have a ranged attack, which is not something that you can always say. A ranged attack that... Oh, okay, it regens over time. I was going to say, am I running out of MP? And yes, but it just comes back, so I don't have to worry that much. Because otherwise, you know, what would you do about it? Like, that would just be insane. Alright, so there are definitely some runes, like fairy runes and such, that having the ability to fly indefinitely, it should make all the difference. If I can make it that far. So it's an interesting experiment. I kind of like the fact that this is in the game. But I would like also if I had a little bit more HP. Because 45 is, it's like real bad. That's like enough to basically get through not even one hit in the darkness area. Like, there's one shot would kill pretty much anything. Or you would be killed by pretty much anything. Also, how do I open chests? Okay, I gotta stand on the ground to do that. Random teleporter, you want to take us somewhere cool? Random teleporter reminded me of Adventure Time, and when I thought of Adventure Time, I thought of, you know, Distant Lands. I guess that would be the correlation there. And when I thought of Distant Lands, I thought of the next line, you know, Jake the dog and Finn the human. Do you ever think of those lines as, like, it sounds like they're verbs to me sometimes. Like, you're supposed to Jake the dog, whatever that means, and you could Finn the human. I mean, you could, like, put a fin on the human, and then you'd Finn the human. But how do you Jake the dog? That's what I want to know. Is that, like, a euphemism for something in some part of the world? Like, can you Jake something? Like, I know you can nick things. In the UK, that's, you know, called something for stealing. Which is kind of weird that my name is Nick, and it's also slang for stealing things. I always thought that was a little bit strange, but... You know, what is Jaking the dog about? Is that... you can Jimmy a lock, but how do you Jake a dog? Anyway, this is getting weird. So that run was absolute garbage. The dragon, as far as I can tell, is relatively worthless to me. I'm not really going to see much in the way of return on that investment, apparently, because I could only get 640 gold out of it. Starting a character with 45 health just seems silly to me, like, pointlessly silly. What are you going to do with one hit? Like, aside from the very beginning of the game. I mean, maybe the goal there is to farm, you know, the castle areas. I'm not too happy about the dragon, I'm sorry to say. I may play as it again in the future, it could happen, but I'm not going to be exactly jubilant when I see the dragon show up in my choice of 3. Can you... Oh, okay. Tribal Tallies, development time 3 months, release date November 23rd, 2009. Tribal Tallies was the first project we had worked on months after the horrible experience with Band of Bears. It was a bit of a test project to dabble our feet in the water of iOS gaming since we had never tried making something on mobile platforms before. The game was simple in concept as you mapped numbers and sequence as fast as you could. Oh, tapped numbers. I think I said mapped. To spice things up, we implemented several modes like tap backwards, hidden numbers, and tap matching. We thought the scope was reasonable, but the game ended up taking much more time to make than expected. It didn't help, it was all coded on Hackintosh. It was a pretty plain game, we could have done better. We were all playing it safe after Band of Bears. To be honest with you, and I don't mean to, like, fire shots at the developer or anything, but it just seems like sort of a drab concept to begin with. It would be a big sell for me to be excited about someone saying tapping numbers in sequence would be, you know, addictive. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but it would be very, like, nuanced to do it. You'd have to do a lot of, I don't know, messing with meta stuff, because the core gameplay concept itself needs a lot of dressing up. But anyway, I don't want to go off too far on a tangent on that concept, but it's hard for me not to make snap judgments. I pretty much do that. Like, if you've ever mentioned a game idea to me, even in passing, or have run into a game idea, which I do on a daily basis, from various emails or searching around for things in general, I sort of have this, like, filter that I can't turn off about, like, here's what I think I would do differently about this, or here's what I think would be, you know, the positives and negatives. Like, I'm constantly critiquing stuff, and I guess it's just part of my analytical nature or something, but yeah, that one idea in particular, I think, well, I understand it. If you're playing it safe after a sort of failed development project, I can't say that I fault you for it. I understand the concept and the sentiment, but maybe a little too safe, but I think you get the point anyway. I think you've already come to that conclusion on your own. So I have this device here which seems to cast a shadow of myself and then I can warp back in time. Why is that something I want? How useful is that really for me? I don't know. Hopefully in the course of this play we will figure it out. I kind of doubt it though. So let's go down and to the right. And to the right. And to the down, and to the right. And okay, so now we've got platform paradise over here. Not too worried about it. Nothing too bad in here, just, you know, a little bit of eye action. That's a game that didn't get enough traction. I wonder what happened to it in development, because I covered that game as Eye Attack a while back. It's a, sort of like a Super Meat Boy-ish indie game that I thought was actually really good, and I think I had spoken to the developer and they had said something about possibly doing, you know, having me do another video when it's further along in development, but it's been a few months, and I actually don't think I have checked in with them, so maybe that's something I need to do. If you haven't checked out that video, please do. I think you may find it fairly enjoyable if you are a fan of platformers with sort of a twitchy nature to them. You know, the ability to quickly read levels is something that I think is really fun. Oh look, another chest I can't get to because there's a space far too small. You guys over there developing this game need to prioritize making some of these chests a little bit more accessible. I feel like about 70% of the time I can't reach them because of, you know, some trait that you were supposed to have that I just don't have. I mean, I guess I could, if I really wanted to, go back and, you know, re-roll, or not re-roll the castle, lock down the castle, yeah, the exact opposite of the thing I said, and try and bring back a character with that trait, but it's like, that takes a lot of time to go through each time, figure out which character it is, hopefully get them in the role, and then actually go back to the place, fight all the enemies again, just to get a fairy chest that, or potentially like a recipe for a piece of some sort of item, armor. I probably am not likely to do that. If anything, just because I want to spare you guys watching me farm over the same areas too many times. And I know that is what we're doing at this point. That is where we are in the progression of the game. I suppose we should be making our way to the darkness, but I want to guarantee that if I just die super fast in the dark area, the dark world, that I am going to at least have a little bit of gold from the run, so I'm trying not to get too far ahead. You know, I just really don't want to have a run where I basically make no progress. I think that's just the most frustrating thing you can do. It'd be sweet if you could, like, unlock a rune that gives you PAD all the time, because I would love to just, like, knock the concept of spikes completely out of the equation, if that would be possible, or maybe, like, a rune that allows you to, I almost said just destroy the spike balls, but there is one that already does that, the retaliation rune, but I mean, like, something like just have them not ever appear. So, like, if you want to put your effort into purposely looking for runes that are going to allow you to avoid certain instances of combat scenarios, that's another way you could do it. I guess there is also the rune that just allows you to have an easier run in general. I have not really bought any of those, I don't believe, because I find that the balancing here, I mean, it's not overly hard. I just am perhaps under-farmed or under-skilled, one of those two, probably. Really don't get this time warp thing. I don't really find it that useful. What would be an instance when I could even use that? Like, place myself somewhere in a room, and then if I get almost attacked, I need to be aware that I'm about to get hit and then warp away? I mean, I know that would work that way, but at the same time, like, who has the presence of mind to be actively doing that all the time, and then also the timing to hit it when you're about to be hit? I mean, it's sort of like using a bomb in Geometry Wars. I suppose you would develop that instinct, but I'm not sure I have it. Let's head up. Oh yeah, okay, well, let's take a hit there. Take another hit there. Those fireballs and spikes, they certainly do a lot of damage for this stage in the game. I feel like they should be tuned down a little bit when I have this level of armor. Alright, so we got a big old room here. Nothing in the way of runes for me, though. Yeah, why did that? I didn't even mean to do that. I was sort of hoping secretly that there would be some sort of ability that I would get other than the one I knew I already had. I could use my assassin ability more frequently. I'm not sure why I want to use that, but I'm told that it is a good thing to do. Right, so I mean, probably don't want to use it like when you're flying into battle, but there's some kind of usage for it anyway. Oh man. Don't kill me here, come on now. We haven't, okay, 4,000 is at least some form of redemption, I suppose. It's not that good though. Oh man, I'm at 1 HP. And these guys are not going to let up on me either. Stealth mode? What does that do? I mean, I know what it does, but I don't know how it actually helps, really. This is like the run of I don't understand Rogue Legacy, having played it for 10 hours or something. I'm actually not sure how many hours I have clocked in this game, but it feels like quite a few, although at the same time it also doesn't feel like all that many. It's a pretty addictive game, as you probably get by now. And cheers to anyone that actually picked the game up from watching me play it. I think that's pretty awesome of you. It's certainly worth your time and money, if you're into this style of game, of course. And I had a feeling we were probably about to fail at that point, so I'll do one more run, because this has been a largely underwhelming run for me. So, Archmage, Spelunket. Yep. Really, really need more HP. How I'm going to pull it off, I don't know. But I need to do it. I need to get more equipment. I need to get better equipment. I need to get more armor. None of these objects seem to be all that helpful. This sky chest, you know, gives me tons of armor. Guardian limbs gives me, you know, up to armor and magic, which seems pretty good. And then we just got this, right? This was what we were worried about before, getting the... yeah, filling that out, and then having a plus to crit chance. This is objectively just a complete improvement over this last one, which is just the critical damage, or yeah, plus 15% critical damage. Now we have a higher chance to crit as well. So those two together seem like a pretty good idea. I did change one of my runes based on that dragon, and I think I forgot to set it back. This vault rune, right? Which one was it? Right, I didn't have double jump anymore? Which probably messed me up at some point, subconsciously at the very least. Oh man, so should I just like stack on HP or something? I don't know, I feel like my biggest problem is either armor or HP. I mean, there's three ways to look at it: armor, attack power, or HP. I guess I'll just spend this and have no money left. That was a really poor idea. I should have probably used that in a better way. Because now that I have nearly 900... yeah, what a waste. Alright, well, enjoy the free ride there, buddy. Alright, so I'm a miner. I'm gonna get lots of gold. That's just how I work. And with a little bit of damage and luck on my side, let's see if we can just take one nice run out of this. I mean, the 4,000 was not nice, but it's not great either at this point in the game. We should be beyond that. I think we should be shooting for like 5 each run. Kind of interesting to watch as I've tried to sort of maintain observation over that total as we go. And when we're starting, it's like, if we can just get 1,000 per run, we'll be good to go. And it went up to like 3,000 at one point, now we're up to like 5,000. And I wonder if it's just going to continue to spiral upward at that same almost exponential rate. I mean, it's not quite exponential, but it's close. Alright, so down we go. Skeleton room, magician, angry gold star. You're not gold star, you're shooting fire, which is like gold, but you're not gold. Not sure where I got that idea. Alright, up to... what's up here? Oh, alright, well, that guy thought he was going to attack me, but I'm too fast for him. A rare painting that doesn't want me dead. Try and play with pro strats a little bit every now and then. I'm trying to use the downward strike because I always forget about that. I feel particularly nimble when I get to be a character with dwarfism, and I think I probably want to pick those characters more often than not. Just the amount of advantages they have for the amount of disadvantages seems like it's kind of a no-brainer. The ability to go through all these little tunnels and secret areas, the ability to avoid lots and lots of projectiles, seems mostly all positive. Not really sure what the negative actually would be. Do you get knocked back during all hits? I'm pretty sure you did anyway, unless you have, what is it, endomorphism or ectomorphism? I can't remember which is which. Do you have less damage? I don't know. I could probably look at my character sheet, which I am aware that it exists. I just don't tend to look at it all that often. What room is this supposed to be? Is the classroom? Nothing much going on here. Wow, I'm pretty fast when I use that dash. Haven't run into a fairy chest room in a while. I feel like I'm probably due for one of those. I even feel like I have a much better chance at doing some of those platforming challenges when I'm small like this, because I have more time to react to things. You know, it takes another second, well, not even a second, but like a few more milliseconds before I crash into spikes if I go, you know, down onto something. What's up here? Apparently there's like a bunch of chests. They must be on the room above me? I can't... No, why would they... I don't understand. Why would they be at this point in the room? Oh, they're these. Okay, they were in the room above me. I'm silly. I really wish they would let you fight the bosses again, or maybe even just like have a boss rush mode or something. Even if it's like external, maybe you could boss rush for a specific set amount of gold. Or some kind of like trinket or something that would help you in some menial way. Or not so immediate way. I don't know what I'm trying to say with that, but yeah, just some little separate side quest that you could do like outside of the normal game that might translate into stats for you or some kind of advantage, where you could just run through a bunch of the bosses, and that way you could train yourself on the ones you've already beaten, because obviously you're going to want to train yourself before you go into New Game Plus, where they're going to be hopefully much, much harder. So it seems a little silly that your only experience with each boss happens to be however many times it took you to kill them on your first run. Right, doesn't that seem weird? Like, you should probably have another chance to do it. There aren't multiple save slots. Oh, okay, well, yep. Mimic City in here. I kind of forgot that I was able to get through there, so wasn't really expecting to be able to attack the mimics. Just based on me being wacky. Missile land, alright. Well, those guys can shoot through the floors. The projectiles seem very inconsistent about when they can and when they cannot go through walls. I wish we could understand that concept a little bit better, maybe. Those guys I just can't touch at all. See, their projectiles stop, but these ice guys, not so nice. They go right through everything. Whatevs. Skittering Wolf. It's a nice little crit there. Did you notice that? I think having that +2 crit damage also is going to probably help me out a lot in the long run. If I could just be a character class that crits all the time, I think that would be terrific. Missile World, okay. Yeah, alright, I can deal with this. So we've got almost 5,000 gold. That makes this run viable to some extent. I think this is probably a decent run. Still would love to not die for a while, because the ability to get 10,000 sounds a lot better than 5. If that is something that we can indeed do. I mean, I've done it once. Why stop there? I think our new record high is going to be shooting for 20k. I'm not sure what I would do with 20k at this point in the game. I would probably buy like a dozen health ups or some stupid thing. Oh geez, I'm like going to die already. This is miserable. This guy charges, right? So I'm going to probably waste... Yeah, I'm going to waste all my mana and then land on his head. Alright, well, super crappy run on that one. Sorry. What can you do? What can you do? So we've got an Archmage, a Spell Sword, or a Paladin. Let's reroll. We've got a Dragon, Barbarian Queen, and an Archmage. So Barbarian Queen it is. 5,000 gold is going to put us where? We want runes, probably? Do we want runes? I feel like we want runes. Oh, man. The decision-making is getting arduous, because it feels like no matter what I do, I'm not making any huge, meaningful progress. But there's got to be something to do. I definitely could buy some runes, though. What do I want here? Well, what do I want to sacrifice here is really the bigger question. And for what? The up to vampirisms or balance runes. I mean, having them unlocked is probably quite beneficial. But, you know, looking at them, every single time I go, hey, there's got to be something in there I really want. And then by the time I get to thinking about it, it's like, no, they really kind of don't. We're pretty much fine with what we have. It's mostly all mobility oriented, and I'm sure I could throw some vampirism back there if I wanted. But do I want to? I don't know. What I do want to do, though, is increase crit chance. The more crit chance I have, seems like the better. Upgrade plus 2%. Yeah, let's get some crit chance going. And another one of these is going to leave us at a pretty low amount of gold, which will be enough to only get a +2 mana up or magic damage up. 1320 or 1340. I'll go for the magic damage. And look what that leaves us off at. 69 gold. Alright guys, well I guess we'll wrap up this episode here. I'm a little sad that we didn't make any meaningful progress, and again. But we are continuing to grow in levels. This is the area where we grind before what should be a pretty horrible place, which is going to be, you know, really spending some solid amounts of time in the world of darkness below us. Each episode, I feel like I keep promising, next episode I'm going to hang out exclusively down there, and then I end up just running through the same areas again and again. So I guess next time you will have my actual word that I will spend the entire episode just grinding the depths. I don't know, we could do that. Let's just go straight down, see if we can find that boss room door. I know I keep saying it, but I'm going to really, really do it this time. And we'll just see if we can find that boss. I want to see what the boss even is. Everybody keeps saying in the comments, like, has he picked up on the pattern between the bosses? I mean, obviously they seem to be some sort of elementals or something like that. Or they are all... can't remember what their names were anymore, but they seem to have some sort of names that sounded like king-like people, so maybe there is some sort of connection to the plot there. I'm sure there probably is. But that is going to do it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. As always, if you enjoyed the episode, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to chat with anybody. If you have, particular interest in what I'm doing and you'd like to stick around for more, there will be more episodes going up every single day. Between this and my Indie Impressions series, that is 2 daily series, plus we've got magic on Mondays and Fridays, as well as just random intervals of other weird uploads. So yeah, if you became a friend of the channel via this series, then definitely do appreciate you coming by and hanging out. It's probably my favorite thing to do is spend time with you guys playing some Rogue Legacy right now. It is a place where I don't have to really have any particular topic. I could just sort of go off on whatever direction that I feel like, and I always enjoy having that little soapbox to stand on. So we end up trash-talking movies like The Dictator sometimes. You never know. But that is going to do it. Feel free to leave a like on this if you'd like to. It definitely helps me out, but it is entirely up to you if you think I deserve it. And please do come back again. New episode probably tomorrow, so... the more the anticipation stays up for each episode, the more people are enjoying the series, the longer it's going to run. Again, I have no plans to discontinue it anytime soon, unless, people just get really bored by it and are like, hey, I'd rather you just stop making this. Anyway, we'll take it a little at a time. So, thanks for hanging out. I will talk to you real soon, and have a lovely night. Later!